Hi all, this is Jan Almighty and welcome to this video. So for this one I guess you had to wait for a little bit. I'm still wearing the hat even though summer season is over. Unfortunately the temperatures here are just plain bad. So having a couple of degrees outside, hopefully this hat will keep me warm while I play against Stockfish level 6. So let's just go right into it. So level 6, everything else is the same, 15 minutes, increment in 10 seconds. So for the last 3 levels I think I was with black pieces, and now finally I am with white pieces, playing against Stockfish level 6, who is estimated to be rated a 1900. So yeah, it's okay. Let's start with e4. And he goes immediately for d5. I don't want to go e5 and go into some blocking variation. Let's just go for a simple, normal, modern exchange in the center, queen to d5. Knight to c3, of course attacking the queen immediately with the tempo, and now queen to e6. Queen to e6, me personally, I don't know about this variation. I have seen queen to e5, queen to d6, queen to a5, and queen to d8, but queen to e6, haven't seen, and it makes a little bit of trouble for this bishop to develop actually. And one thing that I've learned actually from a classical game, that queen to e2 is a very bad move. A player who played it against me, queen to e5, was his move. He played c6, queen to c7, not really going for the queen exchange. After, of course, he moved the queen, of course, he didn't let the queen on e5. So here I will, of course, play bishop to e2. Okay, we have h6, still no development. But of course I'm not going to do the same. I'm going to play knight to f3. c6, a perfectly normal move for the Scandinavian, and castles. So following the principles for now, simply developing pieces. Probably I will at some point play rook to e1, maybe even now, to move the bishop somewhere with tempo. But the thing is, there aren't that many good discoveries here. So let me just play d4 and try to develop my dark square bishop as well. As I've said, Stockfish will now have a little bit of a problem of developing this bishop, and this is done by moving this queen here immediately to e6. What do we have now? The problem with Scandinavian is, I would say that there is no, at least in my opinion, no quick way how to attack it. So here playing like this, let's just see what black will. I'm eager to play bishop to d3 immediately to just attack a queen, but then the queen can go to a5 and then c7 and d8. Not much is done here. I would much rather go with something much more active. For instance, simply like I'm looking at a move such as knight to e5, playing with bishop to c4. But then there is this b5 that I don't really like, so let's put in an a4 move inside to stop b5 immediately, and maybe later on, if he doesn't play, okay, he did play queen to a5, so already a fourth move with the queen. It seems like this should be punishable somehow. But the thing is, if I even play bishop to c4, e6 is there, and it doesn't seem that I can actually go for something too big here. But okay, let's still try knight to e5 and f4. Why not f4? f5 will be a move, and it seems like he's tempting me with these moves, playing queen to d8 now. I'm simply going to continue with my plan, so playing f4 here, and now e6. Okay, e6. I'm thinking like this. If I push f5 immediately, he can simply capture, and on bishop to c4, he can even go as far and jump with the knight on d5. That's what I said about the Scandinavian. It doesn't seem like there is no... It is a pretty stable defense from the beginning, or I'm just simply choosing a wrong plan. But the thing is that there is no immediate attack here. So it is always a little bit better to prepare some of the stuff that will be played. Sacrificing, I'm not thinking about sacrificing nothing yet. So what I think is best probably is just to develop, so bishop to e3. And I'm thinking also about knight jumps to e4 maybe, or something like that. Knight to d5, maybe not immediately, because knight to d5 does attack the bishop, and this way I can simply attack it here. So okay, now bishop to e7 has been played. It seems like black plans to go castling. So what are my options here? Seems like bishop to d3 with preparing f5 seems like a best thing to do, but now he immediately jumps for knight from b to d7, because now if f5 he can simply capture. I recapture. Doesn't look too good immediately, but the thing is he can go for this. So I'm going to play queen to f3, put additional pressure on this f-file. Of course, castles is always an option, but I want to prepare it. Okay, queen to c7. Now f5 runs into probably capturing and then capturing with the queen, which is of course fine. But I'm going to simply play a rook from a to e1. So rook from a to e1. Now I have finished my development, and now it's just a question of what will black do. Of course, he has a couple of options. I've put the rook on the e file to simply have all of my pieces active, and if now it's not the time to push f5, I don't think it will ever be. Even if I'm sacrificing simply a pawn, I think it should be worth it even against Stockfish at this point. So I will simply capture here with a pawn. I'm expecting queen to e5, and okay. So now I'm seeing bishop to h6, but the problem is I'm opening up the h file. So if the queen stays on this diagonal, I mean, of course, here black can give me a check, but the thing with check is that I can simply play bishop back to e3. So let's just do that. If the queen moves, I'll simply play bishop to f4, and if she doesn't, okay, now even yeah, that's the thing. If I capture, then rook captures on h6. Still there is a threat. So let's play this. Bishop here, maybe even bishop to d6 now. Okay, queen to d8. Still the attack is underway. Is it actually good? So now I'm actually thinking about sacrificing against the machine. So that the question is, am I able to do that? So first, what comes to mind, of course, is capture. Then I see bishop captures, and I'm thinking first without capturing, because I don't want to capture here just to develop his bishop on e6, because this piece doesn't look that good, to be quite honest. So I'm quite fine with having him in such a situation, not really having too many options. But if pawn captures, bishop captures, rook captures, pawn captures, bishop to g6, check, king goes to f8, and it doesn't seem like I have too much to do. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to double up rooks. Yeah, simply double up rooks to put even more pressure on the e file, and this is just how I will build up my attack. Okay, now put out the other rook. The thing is, now he cannot even capture because rook captures on e7, and that is the bishop. Okay, of course he has this move, but now even if he captures bishop to g5 is there, and I'm not afraid of recapturing this pawn. Nothing is lost here. So bishop to g5, I should think. That seems like a pretty decent move. After all, this bishop will be eyeing on this diagonal. The question is, I don't want to capture even now, because I'm in danger of opening its f-file. First, I want to be prepared for it. So bishop to g5, pinning the knight. And once again, if he captures on f5, yeah, I can simply recapture. Well, I would like to avoid this. The thing is, I don't want to give up my light square bishop, but I'm not seeing any way around this for now. Yeah, let's pile up on the f6 square. So let's exchange here, and the next idea will probably knight to e4, because as you can see, this This knight is pinned. Okay, there is queen to c8 and queen to d7, but of course I don't want to exchange this. So let's move away. Threats are capturing here on f6 and attacking the bishop, and finally it seems like I have some breathing space. Bishop captures on f6, opening up the g file and the h file. Yeah, it seems like for now black should be finished quite easily. I just have to think of the best way how to do it. So is the best course of action to play knight to e4 here, threaten to capture here on f6, or is it a better way to maybe go rook to e3, rook to h3 to threaten queen to h7, or maybe even better, maybe rook to e4 and try to prepare somehow rook to g4. There are a couple of options. Some options run into f5, like the first move that black can think of. For example, if I jump with the knight on the e4, f5 comes, and then yeah, I don't want to really deal with this. f4 is also a possible move. So first, okay, and also what I want to do is I want to keep my options open. So if rook to d8, yeah, if rook to d8, then I also want to have a good square to put my queen to. These two squares are actually taken, so let's play here. First and foremost, I am expecting rook to d8 because quite honestly, yeah, it would attack my queen, but it seems like f5 is even a better move, because I was actually thinking a rook to g3, bishop g3, queen to g3, and then after king goes to the h file, after rook to e4, I don't think that rook to h4 there is any possibility for black to actually stop rook to e4, and f5 is just the move. This is when you play against the engine. So f5, an excellent move here by Stockfish. I mean, yeah, it seems that f5 is blocking this whole idea of attacking here, but let's play rook to f1. And now I'm guessing rook to d8, because now he will try to force me to capture here with the queen, exactly. Because otherwise, if you push the pawn on f4, then I'm playing rook to h3, and queen to h7 is once again unstoppable threat. So I'm either going to capture with the queen and exchange queens, which to me doesn't, I'm not getting checkmated because the knight is watching the square, but having this position, I'm not really liking the queen exchange. So let's play this. Queen to e2, simply having the queens on the board, still preparing rook to h3 with queen to h5 this time. Okay, so now he's pulling out the big guns, a rook to e8. Okay, I see. Now, if I go for this one exchange, yeah, I'm not liking this. I would really like to have the strongest attack as possible. So rook to f3, maybe with the rook to h3. But it seems that I have to exchange the rooks at least here and then play something like queen to f3 or queen to h5. In the end, it seems that I will only win a pawn. I'm just thinking maybe there is some idea how to actually focus on this. Maybe knight to e4 was a better move previously, but now it doesn't make sense to think about it that much. Let's try rook to f3. I guess I'm not in a hurry. If he captures, I will capture with the queen, threatening queen to g5 and rook to h3. Okay, so he will go and attack my rook, which is fine. Nothing bad here. But of course, now he leaves this g3 square open. That is one thing. The other thing is, okay, now he can go to f8. What if yeah, once again, now the queen is on the dark square, so cannot do much about it here. Yeah, still. The thing is, I cannot really place my rook on a very good square, because if I place it on e5, bishop to d4 is a threat. If I play on e7, even bishop to c5 is a threat. He will keep on pushing my rook until I play it somewhere, or even exchange. So just to get it over with, let's play rook to e8. Of course, he will play this, and now it's just a question of how will I deal with this situation here. So first and foremost, giving a check, it doesn't give me anything. I don't have enough material anymore to go proceed with this, so I'm just simply going to play a queen to f1, avoid the queen exchange, and play a rook to f5 next move. Yes, rook to f5 next move, whatever he plays, and I have at least one pawn. Next, what I have to deal with is the safety of my king, and also I don't want to be that fast of actually going with the queen from the second rank, and also I would like to include my knight into the game. Knight to e4 doesn't seem like a possibility for now, so let's just try rook to f4 with knight to e4, knight to f5, and if he plays f5, knight to g3 seems okay. One thing that I'm also looking at, okay, yeah, knight to e4 still, I guess, yeah, don't care about the b2 pawn, I'm more about the attack. Yeah, okay, and he ignores it, which is fine. I'm thinking now of knight to g5. If knight to g5, queen to g5, and a rook to f7. Rook to f7, the thing is that queen is still defending here, and I'm not seeing checkmate. I'm not seeing checkmate, and that could be an issue. So let's play c3, just to move his bishop around for a little bit. Bishop to h8, okay, didn't expect that. And now I can even play, can I play h4? No, cannot play h4 because of bishop to e5. But what are other possibilities? Yeah, then this one, I gotta say, this Stockfish is really going for it. So he is giving me some advantages, but he is hanging in there. For the whole game, I'm trying to take advantage of his problematic development, but I still wasn't able to. I do have a pawn and a very nice attack, but I have to think of a way how to actually deal with it. So h4 is a move, but it runs into bishop to e5. I have to play rook to g4, and then if he attacks my rook, then I'm not looking too good. If I play knight to g3, bishop to e5 still, knight to f5, but then I have to move, and I'm not thinking that I'm getting too much with knight to f5. So all in all, I'm looking at, is there actually a better move for me here? Like, still to keep everything intact, like queen to f3, but no, not really. It would be really great if I could make a move that actually makes room for my king. Let's play h3, so to get that over with, and maybe then think about some other variations. So bishop to g7, once again, not a serious move here with the bishop. And let's play knight to g3, threaten knight to f5. Okay, still threaten knight to f5. And if he plays queen to f6, simply rook to f3. Continue on with the game, so nothing is lost. But one thing is clear, now this bishop is on this diagonal, and once again there are bank rank threats. Knight to e3 and knight to g4 seems like a move. Okay, and now the queen, I think, has to stay on the 6th rank. Okay, so b5. Here black has given me an option to capture the bishop. I just have to decide, is that the best option for me? First I will capture here. But one thing is, I was planning to capture and play queen to e2. And the thing with queen to e2, yeah, but this is so a machine-like playing. So, for example, I know he will keep the bishop on this diagonal, because if I capture the queen, a rook to d1 is a threat. So let me just see if he will do that. Oh, he actually won't. Okay. And going for a rook endgame against Stockfish at this level, well, that's just a question of preference, right? Yeah. So let's play a rook to e3. I think f6 is the move that black needs to make here, because everything else is just bad. The thing is, I cannot improve on this position. I can simply play queen to f3, actually. And then he will play queen to d5. Yes, indeed. What about knight to h6? Knight to h6 still doesn't do too much. But let's play queen to f3. I mean, I'm okay if I break open his pawns on this side. Okay, he decided to go against this. He decided to go against it. Once again, which is fine. But I'm thinking more in terms of like capturing now, because now I have this queen to h5 move. Yes, queen to h5, and now the question is, will he run with the king or if he blocks? If he blocks with anything, then e5 pawn would drop. Not the best thing for him. So let's play rook to d3 check here, and next will be queen to h8. Okay, but there is rook to e8. That is also an option. And yeah, he has successfully managed to move away on this side. Okay, queen to d1, rook to d8, check is a threat, also queen to d6. But he's going for the exchange, and I'm okay with this exchange, because now I'm in a pawn endgame, which is clearly winning for me. So I'm not sure about Stockfish, but this is actually excellent for me. Improve the position of the king. For a little bit, having a pawn on this side of the board is quite enough. I will just push simply these pawns. They are connected. They cannot even be captured. I will also be left with one other pawn on this side. Yeah, this is simply winning. So I'm just going to quickly play this one. I mean, at that point, Stockfish was, I would say, an okay position, maybe even a drawish position. Of course, it's a position that needs to be played. For me, a little bit better chances, because yeah, simply I have a pawn more, and his king is more wide open. But it's a game that needs to be played, so it isn't all that simple. But he decided to exchange there, which is plainly bad, and so he lost the game. Quite simple as that. And here he's playing quite slowly, so it will take some time to actually checkmate him. I will allow capturing of this pawn, because he is not in the square of this pawn, and this queen will go out first. So a couple of moves for the queen. Okay, there are no stalemates. This is important. Now going maybe even for this pawn. Let's bring the king closer. I don't want to go with a pawn here. I'll simply checkmate with the king and queen. Okay. So, king to h7, probably. Yeah. Stockfish does want to be stalemated. So a couple of options how to actually go for this. Of course, not move the king. First check here. If he goes down, then occupy this side of the board. If he goes up, then occupy this side of the board. Here, one last king move and checkmate here. Actually, here or here. Let's just see. Yeah. So this is it. 74 moves, Stockfish level 6, 1900 rating. Hope you enjoyed this video. It was a longer one because, yeah, it took me some time to actually break Stockfish this time. But once again, right from the start, he does give you some opening advantage, which you can try and take care of. In the Scandinavian, it has been particularly harder for me to actually go for immediately for advantage in my career, so not like in many other openings, but here it was just it is just that type of play where black doesn't really go immediately for those pawns. Maybe it would be better if I went queenside castle and then push the pawns immediately on the king side, but even this way I managed to somehow break Stockfish. So Stockfish level 6, yeah, a worthy opponent, I would say. So looking forward to the level 7. I still think I do have a chance against level 7, and we will see what will happen against level 8. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!